Hello, everybody. This is Tucker Miller here again. And before I start this movie review, I wanted to apologize for the long delay. But, anyways, now I'm finally doing it. Finally doing this movie review. And now, without any further delay, let's continue reviewing on all the Disney animated films. But anyways, like I said, for my next movie review, I'm gonna be reviewing on Treasure Planet. Came out in 2002. So anyways, let's get to the plot. So anyways, the plot of this movie is we got this guy named Jim Hawkins, who was this character. When Jim was a kid, his mom would tell him this story about this planet called Treasure Planet. And Jim has a fascination with the story that he actually believes that Treasure Planet exists. And then years later, Jim got a little bit older and he became like some troublemaker and his mom runs this like inn cafe, something like that, and then meanwhile, while Jim was helping his mom with the inn, some pirate came to the front door with a map to Treasure Planet. So Jim Hawkins decided to go on this quest with this doctor named Dr. Delbert. Yeah, Dr. Delbert, and they decided to go on the quest to find Treasure Planet. So it's up to Jim Hawkins to find Treasure Planet, and that's basically what the plot is. Now, what can I say about Treasure Planet? This is a very underrated Disney movie, if you ask me. Yeah, this movie is extremely underrated. And a Disney film that no one ever talks about. Yeah, this is a Disney film that no one ever talks about, alongside Atlantis, the Black Cauldron. So, yeah. Yeah, but anyways, Treasure Planet is a very underrated movie. Has a great story, great characters, and great songs. And yeah, this is such an underrated Disney animated film, and one of the most underrated Disney films of all time. I first watched this movie. The first time I watched this movie was in 6th grade, on one of my last days of 6th grade. Like, I was in middle school. I first watched this movie in middle school. During my final days of 6th grade. So, yeah. Yeah, and when I first watched this movie in middle school, I really enjoyed this film. I really enjoyed this film a lot. When I first viewed this movie, and yeah, my teacher showed us this movie in class. That was when I first watched this movie. It was in middle school. And this movie is based on... So yeah, that's when I first watched this movie. And this movie is based on the Marvel Treasure Island. Or book. Whatever it is. So yeah, this movie is based on... This is like the Disney animated adaptation to Treasure Island. But instead of being Treasure Island, it is... Instead of Treasure Island, they changed the title to Treasure Planet. So, yeah. And this is like the third adaptation that Disney did with Treasure Island, which we all know. No, in 1950, way back in 1950, Disney made a live action Treasure Island, which, yep, and fun fact, Treasure Island was the very first Disney live action film that does not have animation. So, yeah. So, yeah. Treasure Island was the first live action Disney film that does not have any animation at all. Because the first two live action Disney films, Song of the South and So Dear to My Heart, have animation in them, but Treasure Island being the first one that does not have any animation. But yeah, so anyways, and then and that's all the way back in 1950, and I still have not seen 1950's Treasure Island. I should watch that one soon. My grandma said that movie was good, so I'll check that one out. And then in 1996, the second Treasure Island adaptation was in 1996 called Muppet Treasure Island, with the Muppets. I think I've seen bits and pieces of that one. I don't remember though, but I think I did see a little bit of it. Parts of it, so yeah. Yeah, and this is the third time that Disney done an adaptation to Treasure Island. But instead being called Treasure Island, it is called Treasure Planet. So, yeah. So yeah, Treasure Planet. Very underrated film. And it's sad that this movie bombed at the... This is a shame that this movie did... And unfortunately, this movie did so bad at the box office, unfortunately. Yeah, this movie bombed big time at the box office when it first came out in 2002. Which, yeah. Yeah, it's sad that this movie did horrible at the box office. So, yeah. Yeah, so anyways, yeah, it's a shame that this movie bombed horribly at the box office. Like, it did so bad at the box office, but, yeah. But overall, this is a very underrated movie. Yeah, this movie is one of the most underrated Disney animated movies of all time. But anyways, let's talk about the characters, shall we? Okay, so first character, Jim Hawkins. Jim Hawkins, he's a great Disney protagonist. He's a great protagonist for a Disney movie. So, yeah, Jim Hawkins is a great character. And of course, Dr. Dolbert, he's a great character. And Captain Amelia, if I'm saying her name right, Captain Amelia, who is this character. And she's a great character, and I would definitely have to say Emma Thompson did a great job voicing her. Voicing Captain Amelia. So, yeah. And of course, we got Long John Silver, or John Silver. So, yeah, Long John Silver, he's a great character. And Morph, who is this pink fella? Morph, he's a hilarious character. I absolutely love Morph. I love seeing him on the big on screen. He's funny. And another funny character from this film is this robot right here named Ben. Ben, oh boy, Ben, he's a hilarious character. And I'll definitely have to say, Martin Shorts did a great job voicing him. Yeah, Martin Shorts voiced Ben in this movie. You can't go wrong with Martin Shorts. He is hilarious. So yeah, and Jim's mom, I believe her mom is Jim Hawkins' mom is named. Yeah, Jim Hawkins's mom is named Sarah Hawkins, and yeah, Sarah Hawkins, she's a great mother, and yeah, although we don't see her in the film that much, but yeah. Yeah, and Captain Arrow, he's a great character, and yeah, all the characters. But honestly, those are the characters I can think of off the top of my head. So yeah, great. This movie has great characters, and the song "I'm Still Here" was a great song, and yeah. Yeah, I'm Still Here is a very underrated song. Is a very underrated Disney song. So, yeah. Yeah, I really like the song I'm Still Here. So, yeah. So, yeah. I did rewatch this movie a couple weeks ago. I was gonna do a review on it then, but I just kind of forgot about it. But now here I am doing it. So, yeah. So, Treasure Planet. Again, great characters, great story, and great music, and yeah, including the song I'm Still Here. That was a great song. And yeah. So anyways, that's all I can say about Treasure Planet. So anyways, I'm gonna give Treasure Planet an 8 out of 10. I won't say there are any flaws with it, but this is one of the most underrated Disney films of all time, for sure. So, yeah. So, anyways, that is it for my movie review on Treasure Planet. And stay tuned for my next movie review, which will be on Brother Bear. But until then, see you in the next video. Bye.